So I've been in the marketing game for well over 10 years now, and in that time I've built multiple 7-figure online businesses and revenue streams, and I want to share with you in today's video some of my biggest marketing tips that you can use in your business to make sure you have a successful campaign that floods your business with new customers and clients. So let's get straight into this. Here's the first thing you need to know. Marketing wins the customer or client, not product quality. Let me explain what I mean by this. You could have the best product or program or solution on the planet, but if you don't have good marketing, no one is going to be enticed enough to buy the darn thing. You could have two competing businesses that are going after the exact same type of customer, and the first business could have a terrible product. When they sell that product and people come into that program, they get a horrible experience, they don't get the result, they don't get what they paid for, and in fact they think it's a scam. But that person could have amazing marketing that would still generate the revenue and generate the customer. Of course, they let the customer down in the end, but they still were able to generate revenue. Whereas the other business could have an amazing product that when someone comes in and joins that program, they get the result. They are overwhelmed by how incredible this whole experience is, and they fall in love with that brand. But if their marketing is awful, then no one is going to buy said product and have that experience. The point of the story is that it's not enough to just have a good product. You have to have good marketing. That's what actually wins the client. There's so much misconception online that if you just have a good offer and you just put yourself out there online, you'll magically attract and generate new clients, and it's not true. Marketing is what wins. So yes, of course you need to have a good product, but you also need to double down on your marketing skills and the strategy that you're using to generate clients, which I'm hoping I'm going to be able to help you with today in this video. Number 2, you need to stand out in your marketplace. And there's one main way that you can do that. There's one strategy that I want to teach you right now that will have you positioned so well for your marketplace that they can't help but click on your ads, come into your funnels, and buy your products. And that is defining who your specific client or customer avatar is, and then tailor your marketing to those people. What I mean here is, rather than going really wide with your marketing and just hoping that you can attract anyone with a credit card and a pulse, instead, you're gonna go a sub-niche smaller. You are gonna find a much smaller group of people within your wider category and speak specifically to them. You've probably heard the phrase, if you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one, because nobody's listening. When people are scrolling Facebook or Instagram, when they're watching videos on YouTube and skipping those ads when they pop up, they're not gonna stop and watch your content if you sound like everyone else and there's nothing in there that really calls to them and draws them out. If we can define a smaller group of people and really understand their needs, wants, desires, pains, then we can draw attention to those people and we'll stop them in their tracks and they'll watch our content. Furthermore, this has an added benefit because not only will you gain the attention of that group of people, but you'll actually have them wanting to sign up with you over your competition because of specificity. Think about this. You've got two photographers. Photographer number 1 takes amazing photos, but they can do everything. They can do weddings, they can do parties, they can do corporate events, they can do headshots. Photographer number 2, they also take amazing photos. In fact, both of these photographers take equally awesome pictures, but photographer 2 specializes in wedding photography. That's the only thing that they talk about. It's the only thing that they offer. Now let's imagine there's a prospect who is looking for a wedding photographer. They're scrolling through their newsfeed. They see an ad from photographer 1 and photographer 2. They think both of these people take amazing pictures, they both look awesome, but I'm gonna choose this person over here because they seem to specialize in weddings. That is exactly what I'm looking for, so I'm gonna give my money to these people. We can go a step further and say that this photographer might have even been a little bit more expensive, and we would still go with them because we feel that they understand our needs and our wants right now. So photographer number 1 misses out on the client. Let's paint a new scenario. Photographer number 1 is exactly the same as he was before. Amazing photos, but can do everything. We've got a new photographer number 2 of someone who can take amazing headshots, and that's all they do. We have a new prospect, someone looking for some new headshots. Both of these photographers take great photos, but they're gonna go over here again because that's what they need right now. headshots. So this photographer is going to miss out on the client every single time only because they're trying to go too wide and they're speaking to absolutely no one. Point number 3, raise your prices. You might say, John, what's that got to do with marketing? How's that going to help me get more clients? It actually helps more than you might know. In every industry, there are 3 different pricing tiers. You've got people at the very top that charge the most, they're the most expensive, they are the premium products, programs in that space. Then you've got people in the middle. They're the ones that are a bit too scared to increase their price. They try to fit comfortably in the average of their industry and what their competitors are charging. And then you've got the third tier, the people that are the cheapest. These are the most nervous. These are the ones that they do not have confidence over their product or service, and they feel that the way they're gonna get their foot in the door in their industry is if they just are the absolute cheapest, and then they'll attract people because of their price. Well, we've got some issues here that we need to unpack. If you're attempting to be the cheapest and that's your way of getting clients, good luck with that. Because firstly, your clients aren't gonna value your product and service even if you do start to land some customers. And furthermore, they're not gonna do the work. People who pay attention. And if they don't pay very much, they're not gonna pay that attention. And so you're gonna be left with a business that is a constant race to the bottom. You have to keep reducing your prices as other people have the same idea and you're chasing your tail, getting cheaper and cheaper. And even if you do start to get some customers, they're gonna be tremendously low quality. We've got a big issue if you put yourself in the middle. If you're in that category where you just wanna comfortably fit into the average, then you have no way of standing out. You're not even standing out because you're the cheapest. You have just embedded yourself into an industry where you look, sound, and charge what everyone else does. You're gonna find it very hard to win a customer. Then we have that third category, most expensive, premium level pricing. This is the category you want to put yourself in. The people that charge the most naturally exude confidence, naturally exude value. If you're looking for a solution to a need or a problem that you have right now, and you're looking out into the marketplace, you see the cheapest people and you think, I'm not really gonna go for that. You see the collection of people that charge about the same and have similar branding, you're not really sure. Then there's that product. It stands out because of its price point, and because it's more expensive, you naturally assume it's more valuable. Furthermore, if some of those people start to purchase and they feel what I call the pinch of the investment, meaning it's a big investment for them and they've taken that step to join your program or invest in your business, those people pay attention. And if they pay attention, they'll actually go through your program and get the result. If you get the result for that client, then that's now a new success story that you'll be able to use in your marketing to find more of the premium level clients. I've been teaching this concept to my private clients now for such a long time. I've got a client called Phil Harris. When he first came to me, he was charging $37 and did not think he could raise his price. He now charges $5,000. You might say, John, that jump is so huge. How's that even possible? There's more to unpack than we have time for in this video, but just know it's possible, and it's really just a confidence thing. You're getting in your own head. Number 4, you must make data-driven decisions for your business. When you're trying to drive more traffic, when you're trying to get more eyeballs and attention on your stuff, it's so important that you follow the numbers and you let the numbers lead you to success. I'll give you the opposite. The opposite is making emotional decisions. You turn on a YouTube ad or a Facebook ad and the numbers aren't quite what you thought they would be, but you're convinced that your website looks amazing. You're convinced that the headline that you wrote should be grabbing attention. You're convinced that the colors and the branding that you've chosen is the answer for your industry and they should be paying attention. And so you don't look at the numbers and make a data-driven decision. You say the numbers must be wrong. I know that I've got a good website, so I'm going to dig my heels in and I'm going to find a new advertising platform because that one must be broken. That's not the case. We are not building websites, sales funnels, branding for us. We're building it for the prospect. We could have an ugly page that we don't like the look of, but if that's the one that's winning, if that's the one that gets us leads and sales, I'll take the ugly page all day long. Now there's another level to this because you might decide, okay, John, I'm going to take that knowledge and I'm going to make data-driven decisions. And then you find a checklist of all the numbers that you should be expecting when launching a paid ad campaign. And you launch an ad on Facebook, You're checking your checklist. It says that the numbers are okay. Lead cost $1. Okay, fantastic. I'm going to keep that campaign on. I should be expecting a sale for $20. Yep, $19. Fantastic. I'm going to keep it on. The problem becomes if you are focusing too much on the specific numbers at every point and you're not looking at the biggest data-driven decision you could make, which is money in, money out, return on investment. You might turn off some campaigns that are doing very, very well. I had a client once that booked an emergency one-to-one call with me and my team, saying that her numbers were going crazy, her YouTube ad campaigns weren't working, and she needed to chat with us to figure out what on earth was going wrong. Long story short, she had spent $3,000 promoting her webinar funnel, and her lead cost was double what we told her to expect. So she was freaking out. She turned off the campaign. We were diving into the numbers. Okay, you spent $3,000. How much have you made in return? She said, I've made $18,000. And I'm thinking, okay, do you not realize that that's very profitable? But she didn't. So I said, and how much did you spend again? Well, I spent $3,000. And why did you turn it off? Well, because my lead cost is double what you say to expect. And how much did you make at the other end? 18. And we went round and round a few times until eventually I could just see the light bulb went off and she realized her mistake. She was focusing too much on lead cost and too much on some of these other numbers and had taken her eye off the bigger picture that she had a very profitable webinar campaign. So make data-driven decisions, but start from the top. Is your entire process profitable? Yes, keep it on. If it's not, go to the next level, and you can continue going down, making data-driven decisions all the way through your funnel. And that leads us on to number 5. You must be driving traffic to a sales funnel, not a website. Now, I want to be clear. There's nothing wrong with having a website, but it serves a completely different purpose than a sales funnel. Allow me to explain the difference, and then we'll talk through some of the strategy. A website's primary function is not to drive an immediate result, but it's there to showcase your brand, give people a chance to get to know you, have a few different tabs and resources that they can check out. All the while you're building your brand equity, and someone may come back at some point later and make a buying decision. A sales funnel, on the other hand, is designed to generate a direct response. We drive traffic to the first page in the funnel, and there should be nothing else to do but one main next step, which could be to opt into your email list. And on that next page, you're going to confirm their opt-in and tell them the next thing to do. Maybe it's to watch a piece of your content, to jump into your webinar room, and then on the webinar, there'll be a next step, to perhaps book a call with your business and have a consultation. So a sales funnel, on the contrary, doesn't showcase your brand, but does drive an immediate response and an immediate behavior. So the strategy is have both of these things, but if you ever have any traffic that you control, you're running a YouTube ad, you're running a Facebook ad, you're pointing people to a page of yours from social media in any other capacity, you drive people to a sales funnel. But you have your website there for people to naturally and organically find you. Sales funnel you point people to, website people find you. If you'd like to learn more about the type of sales funnel that works the best for my business to be able to scale to multiple 7 figures, it's webinars. And I've got another video for you prepared right here. Go check that out and learn more about that. I hope today's video was helpful for you. If it was, do me a favor, hit the like button on this video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We put out great new content every single week. I'll see you in the next video.